Commissioner, we're here at Lone Mountain Park. I know a place that you're very proud of, and I think the thing we should all be very proud of is this 2.2-mile equestrian trail. This really is a game changer, isn't it, Commissioner?
It's been wonderful. This area, this has become a gathering place, not only for District C residents, but throughout Southern Nevada. People come up here. There's so many different park elements. We have the walkers, the joggers, the tennis players, the horseshoe players, the bocce ball players, picnics. And the one element that was really missing was an equestrian component, because the Northwest for 30 years has been one of the best locations for those that do have horses and like to ride. So this latest phase of Lone Mountain basically was centered around building a horse arena, not so much for events. The equestrian events will remain at some of Horseman's Park, some of the hotel properties, but more so for those in the area that need a place to come, ride their horse, exercise the horses. And part of it is we were able to identify SNPLA funding for a trail around Lone Mountain. Now, if anybody's familiar with this area, they know this mountain is one of the most used areas in Southern Nevada for walkers, joggers, hikers. It's a badge of honor to hike to the top of Lone Mountain. But what was missing was a dedicated path around the foot of the mountain. And we were able to do that with this project, and that actually opened early. It's 2.2 miles, a great track because it's not flat. You go up, you go down, and there's some real steep. The folks that have used it, we were out here the other day, my wife and I walked on a Sunday afternoon. There were horses, baby strollers, hikers, joggers, walkers. It's just wonderful. It's just another beautiful element out here to complement the overall park.
10 feet wide. It's kind of it's not a paved. What type of material is that made of, and who can use it? There's no motorized vehicles on there.
That's about the only exclusion is any of the motorized bikes or off-road vehicles. We don't want it to tear up the track, but other than that, everything goes. It's just been wonderful. It is truly, it was built as part of the equestrian park, but it's a multi-use trail. Everybody, to date, the comments have been wonderful, and just to see people out here on a daily basis, again, taking advantage of one of the most enjoyable parts of District C.
Terrific park, terrific park. Looking over my shoulder to there, what type of construction is taking place there? What other amenities will you have here?
Yeah, the equestrian park, that component actually consists of a very large covered arena, which was a request for the better part of 10 years from the equestrian community out in the Northwest. That will, again, enable those local equestrian riders to come up here, exercise their horses. During the summer, give them a little coverage. There's a children's park with an equestrian theme as far as some of the park elements, and there'll be some corrals. It'd just be a nice place to, again, be utilized by those in the Northwest that sometimes have to travel a great distance just to exercise their horses. And that construction, we're anticipating mid-February to be completed. We'll have a wonderful neighborhood picnic and gathering. We'll invite everybody from the horse riders to the climbers on Mount Charleston to the walkers to the joggers. We'll invite everybody. It'll be a great community event, mid to late February.
All right, we'll mark that on our calendars, certainly. I know our good friends at Outside Las Vegas have been good stewards, or great stewards for all outdoor areas, certainly the trail system all throughout Clark County. They've helped you with cleanups here as well as members of the community.
Yeah, very much so. Mauricia Baca has just been one of the key voices in Southern Nevada for over a decade on sustainability, open space, trails, cleanups. She spoke today at the RTC meeting and updated us on Outside Las Vegas, and what the organization has done over the past few years has just been phenomenal. Not only creating a volunteer base to do park cleanups, but also bringing in the private sector, partners, sponsorships for a lot of these events. It's been great. Their long-range vision for open space trail sustainability in Southern Nevada is unparalleled.
And how does this trail system tie in, or does it tie in with any of our other trail systems?
It does. The Beltway, the northwest component of the Beltway, is under construction right now, and that will, again, those familiar with the area will understand. At Lone Mountain we have a signalized intersection. At Ann Road we have a signalized intersection. Parts of the Beltway that just cause a lot of confusion and traffic backups. That's underway to make it a true freeway. Along the Beltway is part of the trail system. So we have Alexander, the overpass at Alexander actually has a trail component on it. And what we want to do is Lone Mountain Regional Park is kind of the center point of bringing people in Valley to this regional area and then giving them opportunities to go out even further outside of Las Vegas into some of the foothills and some of the trails deep back in the mountains.
That's good planning. You're always, when we're building these additions to the Beltway, we're always looking to add trails and flood control issues as well, right?
Very much so, yeah. And that's some of the times during the big growth period of the 90s and early 2000s, the trails and the open space kind of get left out. So what we have done a far better job, not only the county but our sister cities, is incorporating that quality of life element into our hard infrastructure, be it a water, a sewer, or roads, or beltways, making sure there's open space and trail systems as part of the overall development.
The three letters I know we've talked about a lot throughout this year, Commissioner, are FRI, the Fuel Revenue Indexing, which has actually helped build $700 million it will eventually raise in a couple hundred projects, put at least 9,000 people to work. This is the community investing in our infrastructure.
There's no question, and it was difficult coming through the recession. One of the things that was hit hardest is our capital projects. When the RTC and the Public Works departments among the member agencies, there was not the money there to continue building our infrastructure, our roads, even the rehabilitation, the maintenance of some of these roadways. The money dried up, and as we start to recover, we'll regain some of that, but we were still so far behind where we should be on that infrastructure investment on our streets and our highways. We needed something else. We needed to identify a new revenue source, and there are a lot of options out there, but the one that made the most sense was to those who utilize the roadways and gas up the vehicles, and that's where the fuel revenue indexing came from. We at the gas pumps, we collect money for each gallon, and that money enabled us to go out for that $700 million in bonding, and that will take care of. Originally it was 199 projects. Now we're up to 215 because of very competitive pricing. So the report card to date over the first 18 months of FRI has been excellent. Obviously the one concern that has been coming into the office of late is there's so much going on. There are orange cones all over the valley, people are getting frustrated, and rightfully so. But we're playing catch up from the recession, and then our normal capital programs are up and running. So for the next few years, there's going to be a lot of activity. Then it will settle back into something that they're used to, something more manageable as far as the growth. But FRI has been wonderful. There was also, on the front end of that initiative, there was a commitment from the RTC and all the member agencies that we would target local companies, create local jobs. And that again we've received an A in the report card. We also went above and beyond trying to bring in minority contractors, those that sometimes on the public infrastructure get left out just because of the cost of these, the millions of dollars. So we've done a lot of outreach, education, training, bringing in a lot of people. Some of our bigger companies here locally have actually created training programs to bring in the minority contractors, to bring in and train the local workforce. So it's been great. And it's tough now at times, it's frustrating at times, but when it's done, that infrastructure, as you mentioned, Randy, is truly an investment into the long-term sustainability of Southern Nevada.
Anybody that's lived out here in District C or this part of the area knows Centennial Hills, and now we're calling it the Centennial Beltway, basically at 95 and 215. That's another FRI project that is going to be another big game changer for transportation in this area.
Huge. Other than the Spaghetti Bowl that everybody's familiar with, the Centennial Bowl, where the 95 and the 215 meet, that is the second largest system-to-system in the state. And NDOT right now has two projects, two flyovers, that are going to greatly assist people coming from the east to get onto the 95, and likewise heading home on the 95, getting east. But that's just the first of three additional phases to truly make that a beltway and a freeway, so you don't have to stop, which you currently do at the lights and it backs up. But again, critically important that we start, because there was nothing being done out there for the better part of 6 or 7 years. This starts the process. And any infrastructure project usually takes anywhere from 2 to 5 years from identifying, design, construction, completion. So it's all part of a 5 and sometimes a 10-year infrastructure plan. But that likewise will be a welcome addition to the Northwest.